Hello, I'm Scott Brady with Overland Journal and Expedition Portal, and I am here in beautiful Santa Fe, New Mexico, with a very beautiful and important new vehicle, the LX600 from Lexus. Now, what makes this special? Why would we feature this on Overland Journal and Expedition Portal? That's because it has a 300 series Land Cruiser underneath. This has the heart of a Land Cruiser. In fact, we're not going to see the 300 series Land Cruiser, at least for the foreseeable future. So this LX600 is what we're going to get for a Land Cruiser in North America. But we're not really giving up much. It has the same engine, so twin turbo V6 making over 400 horsepower. It has 1,600 pounds of payload like you would see in this variant here. So this is a very effective vehicle for traveling around the world. Let's talk about the LX600 that I would pick for myself. Now, they certainly have a base model, which is of course the lowest cost of entry, but then it moves up to the premium, which is not significantly more. But what the premium package, the premium model gives access to is the appearance package that we see here. So this is a matte 7-slot grille. Now, the grills on Lexus can be polarizing. Some people really want that very interesting front grille for them, for a luxury vehicle. For me, I want something that's more understated. So I end up with this matte 7-slot grille, and it's the closest approximation to a 300 series Land Cruiser that we're going to see in North America for the foreseeable future. But that also gives us a really good approach angle too. You'll see compared to like an F Sport. So I have a significant improvement in approach angle as well. But this is where I start to think outside the box. If I want to install an ARB bumper, I want to be able to cut along one of these intersecting lines of the 7-slot grille so I can install a bull bar with a winch. So this is when you start thinking about, I can really make this look like a 300 series Land Cruiser as well. Now, the other thing that you can get access to is an 18-inch wheel, an 18-inch matte wheel. And that's a really big deal. A lot of these new SUVs, you can only get a 19 or even a 20. But on the LX600, you can get an 18-inch wheel and install a larger diameter off-road tire. And another couple things that I would choose for myself, I would want the variable height suspension so that I can get increased clearance for off-road, and then even adjust that for additional clearance in day-to-day driving or to install larger diameter tires. All right, so let's talk real quick about these side steps. These are things that we always want to remove for additional ground clearance. They come off easily on this vehicle, and they don't fully integrate with the lower quarter panel components. So you can remove the steps without making a material effect to the vehicle.
Starting route guidance. Proceed about 3 miles to Paseo de la Tierra.
Now I'm back on basically a gravel road, graded road. It's got a lot of sand content in it, but this is the perfect road for a car like this. It is impressive. The jounce control, the overall wheel travel is also quite good, which is not to imply that it has excellent articulation, because that's limited by the anti-sway bars. But when it comes to wheel travel during an impact event, coming over a mound, coming over a rise on the road, for example, those are all things that this vehicle does really well. One thing that's very cool is that you can actually go into the screen when you go into the multi-terrain select and downhill assist control, and then you can activate the turning assist, so it actually will either lock or start to accelerate a tire depending on what kind of a turn it's assisting you with. So you end up with a lot tighter turning radius than you would with a vehicle of this size. You're really only limited by how fast you should drive on a road like this, because traction is very good. The tires are actually quite good. And I think that that's what makes this vehicle special, is the fact that you can drive it on a dirt road like this at speed, comfortably, safely, with a full load. This vehicle has a 1,600-pound payload potential, so plenty of payload capacity, which is all very reassuring. And it feels like a Land Cruiser. It feels like I'm driving the evolution of the 200 series. It's just a little bit better in a lot of ways, a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more sure-footed, a little bit better use of technology. Now, certainly for me, as an individual, I would prefer to have a lot less of the electronic componentry that I see. I'd like to have things be a little bit more austere, but that's just, again, that's a personal preference. The reality is that most buyers of a luxury SUV, they want all the tech that they can pack into it. So it's totally understandable that Lexus would build a car like this, but I'm just so grateful that there's a Land Cruiser right underneath me right now.